These are real places, not paintings, not movie sets, not digital art. Real locations on this planet that look so impossible that photographs of them are regularly mistaken for fiction. One of them has been on fire for over 50 years and nobody can put it out. One of them is so dangerous that your own government will arrest you for visiting. And one of them appears to be bleeding. These are 8 places on Earth that genuinely should not exist. Stay until number 6 because that one was not created by nature at all. Place 1. Turkmenistan, 1971, Soviet. Engineers are drilling for natural gas in the middle of a desert, and then the ground beneath them disappears. The entire drilling rig collapses into a massive underground cavern. Dangerous gas begins flooding out of the hole. The engineers make a decision. They set it on fire. Their reasoning was logical. Burn off the gas. Let the crater extinguish itself. Should take a few days. That was 1971. The crater is still burning today. Over 50 years of continuous fire. At night, the flames illuminate the desert sky formals in every direction, making it look like a window directly into something beneath the earth. Local people eventually gave it a name that felt appropriate. The door to hell, and nobody, not yet, has figured out how to close it. Place 2. There is a small island off the coast of Brazil that the Brazilian government has made it illegal to visit. Not restricted. Not discouraged. Illegal. The island is called Ilha da Queimada Grande. The world calls it Snake Island. It is home to the golden lancehead viper, a species found nowhere else on Earth, whose venom is capable of melting human flesh around the bite site. Now, before you say anything, yes, some people have still tried to visit illegally. We will let you guess how that went. Thousands of years ago, the island was connected to mainland Brazil. Then sea levels rose. The snakes that remained became isolated. With no predators and a steady supply of migratory birds, their population kept growing and growing. The only people permitted to set foot on Snake Island today are researchers with government authorization. Even they do not go on, because on Snake Island you are never more than a meter from something that can kill you. Place 3. Philippines. Province of Bohol. From the air it looks like someone arranged over 1,200 identical hills. Across the landscape by hand, same shape, same size, same spacing. The effect is so regular and so impossibly symmetrical that the first photograph most people see of this place is assumed to be digitally manipulated. It is not. Scientists believe ancient limestone deposits were shaped by millions of years of erosion and rainfall carving identical rounded formations across a landscape nearly as far as the eye can see. For most of the year, they are green. Then the dry season arrives. The grass turns brown under the hot sun. And suddenly, 1,200 hills look exactly like a field of giant chocolate drops, which is exactly how they got their name. The Chocolate Hills. A geological accident that looks like a desert from 30,000 feet above the ground. Nature spent millions of years making something that looks like it belongs in a candy shop. Place 4. Easter Island. And before anyone says anything, this is Easter Island. Not Epstein Island, completely different island. Much older scandal. 2,000 miles from the nearest inhabited land and one of the most isolated places on the surface of this planet. And yet nearly 900 enormous stone statues stand across this island, some over 10 meters tall, some weighing more than 80 tons, carved from volcanic rock by a civilization with no metal tools. No wheels, no written records of how they did it. Historians understand how the statues were carved. What remains genuinely unexplained is how a civilization without modern technology transported stone monuments weighing 80 tons across an island of rugged terrain to precise locations using only what they had. Easter Island does not just ask questions about history. It asks questions about what human beings are actually capable of when necessity demands it. Place 5. Antarctica. Taylor Glacier. A waterfall emerges from the ice. It is deep red. Note rust-colored, not orange-tinted, deep, vivid red. The first scientists to discover blood falls in 19 had no explanation for the color. For decades, the assumption was red algae. The truth turned out to be stranger. Beneath the Taylor Glacier, sealed off from the atmosphere for over 5 million years, sits a reservoir of ancient iron-rich salt water. 5 million years. Trapped. untouched. When that ancient water finds cracks in the glacier and reaches the surface, the iron immediately reacts with oxygen in the air. The same reaction that turns metal red, except here it turns a waterfall red. A glacier-bleeding ancient water that has been sealed beneath the ice since before humans existed. Antarctica somehow manages to be even more dramatic than it already was. Place 6. This is the one I told you about. Theon that was not created by nature. Nevada, United States, 1964. Workers drill a geothermal well in the desert. The project is abandoned. The well is left unsealed. Classic. Mineral-rich water begins flowing continuously to the surface. Not for a few days, not for a few years, for decades. The minerals accumulate layer by layer, building a structure that looks like something assembled by an alien civilization rather than grown from a human mistake. The colors are not paint. They are not filtered photography. They are heat-loving algae, microscopic organisms thriving in the warm mineral water, turning the entire formation vivid red, emerald green, and deep orange. A drilling mistake in a Nevada desert became one of the most visually extraordinary structures on Earth. Not because of what anyone planned, because of what was simply left behind and forgotten, which, honestly, is how a lot of great things happen. Place 7. A brief change of pace, because not every impossible place on Earth is dangerous or mysterious. Some are simply delightful. Aoshima Island, Japan, human population, approximately 15. Cat population, approximately 200. The cats were originally introduced to control therats that threatened fishing equipment and food supplies. The fishing industry declined. The people moved to the mainland. The cats stayed and multiplied, because of course they did. As photographs spread online, visitors began arriving specifically to see an island where cats outnumber people by a ratio of more than 13 to 1, where cats sit on every roof, every path, every surface, watching you with the serene confidence of animals who know this island is entirely theirs and are simply allowing you to visit. Which honestly is show cats behave everywhere anyway. This island just makes it more official. Place 8. Northern Ireland, 40,000 interlocking basalt columns, each one a hexagon, each one fitting perfectly against its neighbor, stretching from the coastline into the sea. Science explains this as ancient volcanic lava cooling and contracting into geometric shapes over millions of years. The mathematics of cooling rock naturally creating hexagonal columns. Perfectly reasonable, very scientific. But for the people who lived here first, there was a different explanation. A giant named Finn McCool built this causeway by hand, Torech, a rival giant in Scotland. And standing at the giant's causeway, looking at 40,000 perfect hexagons arranged with more precision than most human construction, the scientific explanation is genuinely impressive. But the legend feels just slightly more satisfying. Which one surprised you most? Drop the number in the comments and subscribe because we are just getting started.